Hey, hey, Virgo, Mel, Intuitive Soul Coach here. Excited to bring in your December 2025 monthly reading. All right, let's open up your energy field and take a look at what the month ahead has in store for you. Bottom of the deck, what you don't see coming. Clarity. Truth bombs coming through for you. There are moments of mental clarity, solutions coming in, and answers. I feel like you are guided to spend some time in stillness or spend some time in activities that help you connect to your higher self. Whether this is through meditation, perhaps it's journaling, yoga, whatever you do that helps you connect to source is going to be very beneficial because I feel like it's going to help bring in this sense of clarity regarding a situation that has felt a bit foggy, that's felt a bit heavy even. I see the 10 of Wands coming through at the bottom of the deck. And when that 10 of Wands shows up, it tells me that you may feel overwhelmed. I know December with holiday time and it being the final month of 2025, there can be a lot going on, but you don't want to get lost this month in the chaos. And that's where finding stillness or finding activities that can help you stay balanced, help you reconnect to your center is going to be very, very important this month. Now, I am getting also with that 10 of Wands, if you are taking on too much, right? Just because you can do it all doesn't mean that you should. So be sure that you are asking for help. Delegating, Virgo, is going to be very important. Now, you have some powerful beginnings coming through. You have 4 out of 6 major arcanas coming through for the month of December. So this is not going to be a quiet month by any means for you, Virgo. I feel like you are, you are shifting into a new timeline, a new reality. And this month you may be playing with multiple timelines and asking yourself, how do I feel? So often we are focused on what something looks like or, the mental aspect of it, but we often fail to ask ourselves, how do we feel about this situation? Are we happy? Am I feeling good with how I've shown up today in my relationships or my work, or am I feeling good about what I'm eating or what I'm watching? Does this inspire me? Does it allow my intuition to free flow? Do I feel uplifted? So this month you are possibly being challenged at times because I do see the devil, but the good news is the devil is showing up, meaning it's out in the open. It's not hidden. So when it's out on the board is actually a good thing because it means that you have the ability to see what you are giving your power away to and to cut the cords, release these attachments. Perhaps these are addictions or fears. It can even be where we repress our emotions, right? We're not fully asking ourselves because we're too focused on the fluff of conditioning or the fluff of uncertainty that clouds our judgment. Dogma can cloud our judgment. And because you do have the moon showing up here, I feel like there is a bit of anxiety. So let's dive in. I love that clarity is showing up. Even though you may not see it quite yet, it is surfacing in your life. So truth's coming to light, answers to your prayers, and there is a new path. There's a new direction coming in here, Virgo. You have the Fool showing up. And the Fool is a new beginning as we close out 2025. And for many of you, 2025 has been a very difficult year, I see. You've had a lot of highs and lows that you're still trying to rebuild from because I see the Tower here as well. And this month, it's like you're getting clear on what brings you happiness and where your thoughts are also taking you. Now, I don't see any swords out here, and I pay attention to what's on the board, but also what's not present. And the fact that there are no swords in your reading tells me that there may be this absence of self-talk where you're not quite sure, that the subconscious, how it's taking over to the effect of creating imbalance. So sometimes the subconscious mind, right, replays these old stories and we don't even realize that they've been playing on repeat until the devil shows up, right? Until we're like, whoa, wait a second. What's really going on here? And there's the aha moment. I am getting here, your inner voice is loud, trusting that inner voice this month. I'm also getting a strong connection to candles. Maybe you like candles, Virgo, or candles could be a gift. Maybe you are lighting candles, taking a hot bubble bath. I'm also getting that fiery energy. Sagittarian energy is connected to fire. So it could be during Sag season that things are starting to come to light. And if you enjoy fires, maybe bonfires, this can be candle glazing or just putting a fire on in the background. If you don't have a fireplace, you can find, on YouTube, you can find the fire popping and the colors that may actually help calm your nervous system. So look into that if it resonates. Now you have belief system, perspective, and divine guidance showing up here for you this month. Now, belief system is our self-talk, right? It's what I was just talking about with reprogramming. And we have prayers here. And because you have answers here, answered prayers coming through, it feels like you've been asking spirit for guidance. You've been asking for help, Virgo. And I see that your higher power is really showing up for you this month. It's always been there. It will always be there. But again, when that fear is loud, when that moon shows up and we have a lot of anxiety or conditioning that is clouding our intuition, that is a whole different story, right? And that can kind of be the direction that we lead and live our lives. And this month, it feels very powerful where you are re-examining what you pay homage to, what you are committing your time and your energy and your feelings towards. And I am getting a strong Hierophant energy here where you may even be connecting with a spiritual teacher, a coach, a mentor, or a healer. And I think it may have been Cancer, also had this energy of either a new spirit guide coming in, stepping in as you are moving into a new chapter of your life. But it could also be someone in the physical. Maybe this is a teacher or a coach that you are working with, maybe even a therapist that is helping you unwrap some of the conditioning, helping you get to the root of an issue so you can get through any of the blockages that you have faced in the past here. So belief system is strong this month. And I also feel like you are leaning into some sort of tradition. Okay, some sort of fun tradition. Maybe this is a holiday tradition that you participate in. Maybe it's baking a certain type of cookie every year, or opening presents with your family on Christmas Eve or Christmas morning. It feels like you are participating in something that you have done time and time again, because it does bring in this sense of joy. It brings in a sense of calm. But I also see that you may be incorporating new traditions that maybe they don't have anything to do with the holidays, but it does have to do with calming and finding balance within your nervous system. Because what I see here, especially with the devil and the tower and the moon, this is a whole lot of shaken up foundation, and that is enough to stir up anybody's nervous system, right? So this month, your perspective is shifting. You have this hermit type of energy coming through here as well, where some of you have felt very isolated. Maybe you've even socially distanced yourself from people or from places or things that you've once enjoyed. But I do see here that there's this other side of you that you are tending to. And it feels like it's the other side of shadow. So what's the other side of shadow? Light. And you see here on perspective that there is a new point of view coming in, but it feels like you have help. You're not doing this all alone, hence the hermit that I'm seeing in my mind's eye. And you are opening up to creating a new sense of stability in your life by first finding peace. It's like sitting in the eye of a storm. It's not about wishing for these obstacles to be removed from your life. It is about asking spirit to help you deal with these obstacles, because it's wishful thinking that something is just going to come in like one of those toy claw machines and pick up what the obstacle is and remove it, right? But how you deal with it, how you perceive it, how you action it up, how you respond to that energy, those are all things that are within your control. And anything that's outside of your control, it's not worth tending to, right? It's not worth focusing on. Why? Because that's going to cause you anxiety. So perspective here, you're learning a lot at this time. You are taking off the rose-colored lens, and perhaps there is a level of acceptance, saying, okay, this is my situation, and I am sitting in this uncomfortability. For those of you that are uncomfortable, oftentimes we immediately try to fill that void or that gap. We try to fill it in with anything that we possibly can to not feel uncomfortable. It's human nature, right? We don't want to feel that way. We numb it, we repress it, we avoid it, we turn a blind eye to it. But it feels like this month you're facing it. And by facing it, it actually allows you to go through the shadow into the light. So that's where clarity comes in. You have divine guidance. I told you you're not alone here. You know, we always have spiritual helpers, but it feels like there is someone new or a new energetic presence that is guiding you. And many of you may even be working with your own guardian angels. Right? This is the energy of miracles, the energy of spiritual strength, and oftentimes on the 10 of Wands, we have reached our end. Like we've reached the max capacity of what we can hold on our own. And oftentimes this is, you know, spiritual strength coming in. And I see that there's help, right? You have divine guidance coming in. There's some form of support, some sort of blessing, resource, aha moment, a gift that's coming up out of the blue that helps you see life from a different lens. And therefore, everything in your life starts to shift, because when you view things differently, right, then the things that you're viewing start to change. And I see that some of you, this is interesting. Some of you may be twins, or perhaps there was a separation of a twin in the womb, or the energy of like a twin is coming through here for some of you. So again, take that as it resonates. But what I'm getting here also with the moon coming up, I say the moon is the space between madness and genius, right? You know, the phrase lunatic, or the term lunatic, comes from the lunar cycle. So it can make us mad, like driving us to madness here, where on the other flip side of it, there's this genius. And I do feel like the moon is bringing up energies that are hidden from view. These are our shadows, where it feels like we're going mad, but actually it is the opening here to the light. And you can see that there is a gentleman in the background, and the light is on, and he is standing there in that opening. And I feel like this is where you are at right now. You're being asked to trust in the unknown, because there is a powerful new beginning coming in real soon, right, with that Fool energy here. But the anxiety is loud. The devil is loud. And it does feel like you are opening yourself up to freedom, right? And the devil is connected to Capricorn energy, which shows up here at the end of December. So it feels like there is radical freedom, radical acceptance here, which is leading to freedom. When the devil shows up, this is you untethering from those attachments, those fears, the whatever you are giving your power away to, trying to fill that void. It feels like you're getting raw and real and you're sitting with something here for a moment, but it actually shifts. And many of you are having what I call a spiritual awakening, or even a Kundalini activation, where your soul is advancing. You are leveling up. And I have a feeling you're going to see this in many areas of your life. And for some of you, it's going to be in your material world or practical matters. You have the King of Pentacles showing up, the King of Wealth, the King of Practicality, the King of Vision. He is responsible. He is a well-respected leader. He is someone who is continuing to build stability and respect in his life. And I feel like that's where you're at, especially after the Tower. Maybe this is leveling up in your career, perhaps taking your health to the next level. It could even be restructuring how you think about money, how you think about finances. If you've gone through a divorce, or if you've gone through, a crisis of some sort, it feels like help is on the way, is what I'm getting. Help is on the way. Your outcome energy, Virgo, is the Knight of Cups. Remember earlier I mentioned how are you feeling, right? This is the heart moving towards emotional freedom, right? Something deep within you has felt stuck, where there hasn't been tons of joy because you've been carrying these burdens. Maybe these burdens were someone else's as well. Maybe this was shame. This could be guilt. This could be resentment, bitterness, all of those emotions that can be connected with our shadow, because they're heavy and they can hold us back. They're old stories that we keep replaying like a broken record. And I feel like this is the month where you are unlocking a very important part of your own psyche. You are unlocking a big part of your soul, and your soul here is coming through in a very profound way. And even though this could be subtle, it feels profound. So for example, let's say you are watching something on television, or you're listening to a podcast, or maybe you are in a meditation while you're soaking in a bath, or it could be driving down the highway. It doesn't matter where you are at, but what matters is you are open to receiving this information, and it comes through with such profound wisdom that it kind of takes your breath away. You're like, wow, it just clicks. You just get it. I feel like there is this direction, and you know what this is, right? You know what it is beneath the fear, and removing some of the blocks, removing some of those old stories, or at least starting to rewrite them, starting to tell yourself a new story. Sometimes that's the most difficult piece, is the transference, the in-between. And that's where you are sitting with perspective. This is contemplating reality and not letting dogma, not letting ego, not letting the fears control you, right? You are able to take a look at what is within your control, and you are shifting the script here. So let's take a look at the chakra that is standing out. There's your heart chakra, also connected to that ruby energy. It says unconditional love. The heart chakra here, located in the heart region. And the message is this: I allow myself to be open to giving and receiving love without fear of rejection. I give without expecting recognition or acknowledgement in return. When I am loving to others, I am helping bring out the innate love within them, so they also feel uplifted, worthy, and cared for. I love myself the way I am, not the way I was or could be, and I extend this love to others. I teach others how to love and respect me by how I love and respect me. And remember, that is literally, the word respect is on the King of Pentacles. So a heart integration that is creating stability within, and you start to see this flowing out into your outer world. Now, I'm also getting a message here around animals. Animals, maybe some of you animal shelter, it could be animal spirit guides. Do pay attention if you have animals showing up in your dreams, or if you have pets. It feels like there's some spiritual messages or connections coming through animals. Maybe you're getting a new pet this month as well, but I am getting here like spirit animal totems. So for example, again, if you are like driving across the road and you see a fox darting by, look that up, right? Look that up. Or if you are dreaming of lions, look it up and see what resonates with you, because spirit is giving that message again of communication and putting the pieces together, connecting the dots. So you have here, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love, when it comes to partnerships, we have cut down. This has to do with cutting ourselves down, right? Judgment, critiquing. It has to do with feeling less than, feeling not good enough. And this can be stories, old stories that have played out, but it feels like it's someone else's voice. Someone else has cut you down, and that is the story that you have started to tell yourself. And look at what we have here. Stop the pattern. Stop the pattern. We don't have to keep playing out that story like a broken record. You're separating yourself from it. There's the devil. There's the moon. So even if this requires you to step into your power by saying no more, no more, or acknowledging when that mental mind comes in and starts to replay some of those doubts, some of those names. Pay attention by observing. Give yourself a week and just observe how you are talking to yourself. Remember, belief system here is strong. So observe, because oftentimes you don't even realize, because that mind is going on in the background, kind of like on TV when you are focusing on your tasks and you're not really listening to the TV, you're just zoning out, doing your thing, but it's still going on in the background. You don't often know what it's saying until you focus, right? Until you turn up the volume on that television and you start to listen and you start to apply your energy towards it. So you could have a horror show going on in your mind, right? You could have this drama show going on, but until you recognize, until you kind of turn that volume up and say, wait a second, what am I really telling myself here? And that's what you're doing, because that's what's going to help you cut away these patterns. Next, you have karmic relationship. We have many different karmic relationships with family members, with lovers, with our children, our parents, our coworkers, our friends, because these relationships are meant to teach us, right? Hardship that acquires wisdom. And there may have been resentments and triggers that have shown up from certain relationships or dynamics that have played out in your life, Virgo. But I see here again, perception. There is that word coming up. So you see all of the parallels, all of the synchronicities. We have 5 different decks going on here, but the same words showing up in them all. And that's what's happening in your life. You may have a lot going on in your life, but you're starting to put the pieces together. You're starting to connect the dots. And I see that there's been intensity around maybe emotions or pain that has led to that devil energy, avoidance, attachments, addictions. And you are working on letting go and letting love lead you forward here. You have love call. So I also see that this month is bringing in people who support you, right? Strengthening pre-existing bonds, expressing your love, making the call, having a conversation with someone where you are fully present. So there will be messages of love. Someone is thinking of you because you are loved, Virgo. You are worthy. And you may even receive information from someone letting them know how much you mean to them. And it could be through a hug, it could be through words, it could be through a gift, it could be through someone spending their time and their energy on you. And if you are wanting to open yourself up to love, perhaps you are putting yourself out there again, dipping your toes in the water, you have the ability to do so. And this looks like an online dating app here. So some of you could be online. And I feel like there's a little bit of uncertainty. Trust your intuition because you have the devil here with the moon. So not everything is as it appears. So maybe meeting up in person can kind of help you use your intuitive knowing a bit more so you can feel that vibration instead of letting maybe conditions or preconceived notions run the game for you. And for those of you that are in a relationship currently, it feels like you may be receiving support from a family member, a coach, a mentor, a therapist. We talked about that energy coming in that's helping you this month because you could be going through a bit of a challenging time with a loved one or a family member. And I feel like you are supported and you have this divine guidance. And if you have a loved one in spirit, they're definitely coming through helping you at this time. And clearing up any sort of communication. If you have had argumentations, confrontations, or if there's just been drama, and sometimes that drama can happen due to text messages or not fully seeing the whole picture. So for example, we take things in a different way when they are messages over text, right? Or we are not fully able to see that person. And that's what I'm getting. For some of you, it feels like something what went overboard or some sort of communication got kind of tangled up. So you could be clearing up any sort of miscommunication here in the month of December. And let's look at career, finances, money, and income. We have loss. So I see that you have gone through a bit of a loss or you've had to cut your loss here. A major phase in your life, Virgo, is ending. Embrace newness. Beautiful. Yes, you are entering with that Fool, right? The Fool is thinking outside the box. It's a creative leap towards your soul's curiosity because your soul is ready to grow. But the mind is saying, wait a second, what happens if we move into that new energy and, it gets pulled away from us or we fall? But what if you fly? What if you fly, Virgo? Because that's what's happening here. Let go of what was so you can focus your energy on what is ahead of you. And there may even be some sort of grief that you have endured. I see that heavy with the moon and the tower. This could be the loss of a job, the loss of a loved one, a breakup, a divorce, something here that has kind of flipped your world upside down. The grief of loss continues to be an obstacle. But I do see here with the Fool, you are stepping into a new beginning, and it's confirmed here with this energy. Now, you may be taking some odd jobs at this time or looking at creating multiple sources of income, a second job or adding maybe an odd job to the mix, maybe even making money off your goods, your services. I see holiday time being significant. So perhaps this time of year, like Uber Eats or maybe like Amazon packaging, or it could be selling Christmas wreaths or something that has to do with seasonal work, or maybe gift giving. That could be beneficial when it comes to increasing your income in some way. There may even be a bonus or extra tips or compensation of some sort coming through. Sometimes it's okay to take a transition job, even if it doesn't lead to a career. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, let's say you work a 9-to-5 job and you have this horrible boss or coworker or energy that is just suffocating and you are carrying the weight of the world. It is destroying your mental, physical, emotional health and well-being. It's causing issues. You may be saying, wait a second, I cannot live this way. I need to quit or I need to leave, and I can take a transition job, even if that's not your forever job, but it's going to be a lot less stressful. Even if it comes with a little less pay, it is going to be worth not losing your sanity. Remember the moon here, instead of compromising integrity. So if that is you, you do have something new coming in. Even if it's not forever, it's going to be a step into the best and highest timeline for you. and you have take action. So after a pause or after a period of things feeling very shaken up for many of you, you do have action coming in with finances. I'm getting more of that Capricorn season here, December into end of December into the end of January. Whatever your question is, this is telling you to go for it. There's the Fool saying, go for it. Don't let the devil come in and hold you back. Don't let the moon keep you stuck in complacency or stagnancy here, or analysis paralysis, because fear can do that, right? We get scared and we don't know what to do. Do not procrastinate or wait to take that next step to get ahead. Just do it. And the Fool also reminds me of the Nike slogan, right? Just do it. So I feel like you are taking action. This month is a big one. I mean, again, you have five out of 6 major arcanas. 5 is also a number of change. So there's a lot of change occurring for you this month. And I feel like the action that you are taking, it does feel clear. It doesn't feel like you are taking action based on the heaviness of these emotions. It feels like your head is clear. You know what you want. You're moving in this direction. And yeah, it's your own vision. You have authenticity right below clarity here. So this is your unique vision. You're doing this for you. It's part of your inner truth. This is a genuine, honest, ethical, real direction, opportunity, or blessing that is coming through for you. And you're not alone with that divine guidance. So let's look here at your archetype. We have the self. So let's just pull it up here in the guidebook. One moment. All right, Virgo, the self is the soul, the witness, the watcher. The self is the prism that allows the spectrum of our personalities to radiate. It does not judge, prohibit, suppress, or oppress any of its parts, as it lovingly knows that all aspects have a time and a place, and leads us to experience the full breadth of life's offerings. The self is the central abiding container, the awareness of the infinite universe of possibilities. When this card appears, it is a call to step back into witness consciousness, to observe yourself navigating the world. Ask yourself, am I the stew or am I the chef? In most situations, our ego draws us into the cauldron where we swirl, spin, and smolder in chaos. Yet the self is a graceful culinary dancer, watching, waiting, observing as the spectrum of ingredients becomes the flavor of our life. Look in the mirror for 30 seconds or more. Attempt to see the you behind the you. And we talked about that, being the observer, just like that television playing in the background. It's no surprise that 2 central mantras in the yoga tradition concern themselves with the self. Experiment with Soham, I am that, and Sat Nam, true identity. If this card is perplexing for you, you are on the right track. It challenges us to expand our sense of identity beyond the little self, and the ego resists such movement. When this is showing up as the light, which it's about to, right? We have the light at the bottom of the deck. This is witnessing. It's accepting its new aspects, accepting new aspects of the self. When it's showing up as the dark, which I see that it may currently be, it's disjointed. It's fatigued. It's diffused energy and purpose. This is what's shifting for you. If you want to go deeper, watch Robert Bly read Kabir's poem, This Clay Jug. This Clay Jug. That may inspire you. That could also be a sign that I had you look out for earlier. One of the signs that could be symbolic or helpful. Maybe that teacher, that guide, that mentor energy that's coming through for you this month through divine guidance. But I'm also seeing here you accepting new aspects of self without judgment, without bias, without criticism, without shame, because those are all connected to the devil. Those are the old stories that are playing out. Virgo, that is what I have for you. Powerful, powerful month. And it's not all, it's not all heavy. You may be thinking, Mel, well, what good is there this month? There's a lot of good. When you are able to fly free, When you're able to spread your wings, remember what I said earlier, you may be thinking, or the ego is thinking, what if I fall? But your soul is reminding you, what if I fly? You are at the very beginning of potential, right? Of self-discovery. You are leaning into curiosity. And there's this feeling of allowing yourself to reach for the stars, because your outcome here is the Knight of Cups. And look at all of those stars showing up in the night sky. It reminds me of the image Picasso, isn't Starry, Starry Night, where some of you are on this voyage of the heart. The Knight of Cups is emotional depth. It's falling in love with life. It's following your heart. It is being open to love and focusing on your artistic endeavors, because you are someone who is highly empathic. You're highly creative. So whatever the mind, whatever old stories you've been telling yourself about grinding, about, taking care of everybody else, or not being good enough, or hiding, numbing, avoiding, whatever stories, you're going to know what these are for you, because each one of us are going through our own life's experience. But you have the ability to remove the rose-colored lens and to see things more clearly. That is your greatest gift, because what that's going to do, it is going to infuse your energy, your world, your relationships, your career with this beautiful abundance, with this potential, with this heartfelt energy that is so potent that you're going to wonder why you didn't do it earlier. And you have the tools, you have the wisdom. Now it's time to step into the best version of yourself. That is what I have for you, Virgo. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the reading, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And if you are interested in a personal reading or signing up for the monthly newsletter, you can find that information in the description box below or by visiting intuitivesoulcoach.com.